There's a sentence going around the internet lately. Nothing is more dangerous than a man who wants a new life. It doesn't just appear like that. Recently, we see cases from Lindsay Clancy, Christopher Karolkiewicz, and even Chris Watts that got resurfaced again. And it's showing up underneath case after case, involving husbands, fathers, and family members who seemed completely ordinary, until suddenly they weren't. So starting tonight, we're doing something different. For the next 7 days, one episode every day, we're looking at family tragedies. The internet quote reminds me cases where the danger didn't break through the front door. It was already sitting at the dinner table. I hope we can learn looking at the signs, the pattern, anything. So if we can prevent just one less family to get hurt, that means the world to me. Tonight, we're going to Monroe Township, Ohio, to the case of Chad Doerman. What they could reconstruct, almost minute by minute, was what happened before 3 little boys were killed by their own father. Welcome to the podcast, You Can't Unhear. From the outside, the Doermans didn't look like a family approaching catastrophe. Chad worked as an insulator. His wife, Laura, stayed home with the children and planned to homeschool them. Together, they had 3 boys, Clayton, Hunter, and Chase. Laura also had a teenage daughter, whom Chad helped raise as his stepdaughter. Prosecutors later said there had been no prior calls to law enforcement involving problems inside the household before June 15th, 2023. The family appeared normal, happy even. And the weekend before the murders supports that picture. June 10th, Chad spent a boys' day with his sons. June 11th, he took them fishing. Co-workers noticed nothing obviously wrong on June 12th or 13th. Then came June 14th, the night before everything changed. That morning, Chad did something unusual. He woke his teenage stepdaughter before leaving for work and apologized for anything he'd ever done that hurt her. Later, he went to his son's baseball game. He coached third base. Parents noticed he seemed slightly distracted, but nothing dramatic enough to trigger alarm. This wasn't a man running through the streets screaming. Nobody reported seeing an obvious breakdown. He went home. And the next morning, June 15th, he went to work. On the way, phone records showed Chad searched for a song called Happy in Hell. The song deals with confusion, relationships, and feeling trapped somewhere between happiness and misery. We can't say why Chad searched for it, but prosecutors thought it significant enough to include in their reconstruction of his final morning with his sons. Then, something else happened. Chad contacted his mother. He told her he was experiencing confusing feelings. She encouraged him to seek help. At approximately 9:42 that morning, surveillance footage captured Chad entering a Kroger. He walked toward the store's little clinic. He reached the counter and stayed there for only a short time. Then he walked away. He never saw a provider. It's one of those moments that becomes unbearable only in hindsight. He physically reached a place where he might have asked for help, stood there, and left. Chad returned home unusually early. He grabbed a 16-ounce beer and started doing yard work. Laura and the children had been out running errands. When they came back, the boys ran toward their father, excited to see him. Laura went inside to prepare lunch. Then, at some point around the meal, Chad said something strange. "This will be my last good meal." Laura interpreted that as possible suicidal thinking. She thought the person Chad might hurt was Chad. Then he called his father. And without giving him meaningful context, Chad reportedly said, "Clayton is going to be the hardest one." Clayton, his 7-year-old son. Again, nobody around him understood what that sentence meant. Not yet. For the rest of the afternoon, he moved between moments that looked ordinary and moments that didn't. He played with the children, did yard work, read the Bible to Hunter. Then he began mumbling. Chad knows what's right. Laura noticed him trying to open the gun safe inside their bedroom. Now, she was scared. She told him, and Chad responded that he was only playing around. Prosecutor Mark Takultha later described that moment as deception. From the state's perspective, Chad was deliberately reassuring Laura because he didn't want her interfering with what came next. At approximately 4 p.m., the family went into the primary bedroom to lie down. And for a few moments, mother, father, and children were together. Then Chad got back up. He opened the safe and took out a .22 caliber rifle. Laura still believed Chad might be suicidal. The family pleaded with him to put down the gun. They told him they loved him. Then Chad pointed the rifle at 4-year-old Hunter and fired. Laura grabbed her phone. She tried to call 911. Chad took the phone away from her and told her it's too late. Laura began screaming for the other children to run. Her 911 connection captured chaos inside the house. Children screaming, Laura desperately trying to help Hunter, and Chad moving after the others. 7-year-old Clayton made it outside. He ran. According to the Clermont County Prosecutor's initial indictment announcement, Clayton got approximately 300 feet away. But Chad followed him. He shot his son from behind. Clayton fell. Then Chad walked toward him and shot him again at close range. Meanwhile, Chad's 14-year-old stepdaughter was trying to save the youngest boy, 3-year-old Chase. She got Chase out of the house and tried to take him toward a nearby fire station, but Chad caught up. He pointed the rifle toward his stepdaughter. A Ring camera captured her crying, begging him not to shoot her. Chad forced her to put Chase down, and Chase ran. 3 years old. That's the part of this case that's difficult to comprehend. Chase tried to hide near trash cans in the driveway. Chad aimed the rifle, pulled the trigger, and nothing happened. The magazine was empty. There was a moment, a tiny window, where Chase was still alive. So Laura fought. She put herself between the rifle and her child. At one point, she placed her thumb over the barrel. Chad fired, injuring her hand. Then he reloaded and killed Chase in front of her. All 3 boys died at the scene. Only minutes had passed. Laura managed to call 911 again. Her first call had become disconnected. On the second, she told the dispatcher that her children had been shot. They weren't breathing, and nobody was helping her. Deputies arrived. And this is another haunting contrast in the case. After the violence inside the house and yard, Chad didn't launch some dramatic standoff. He was there, near the home, with the rifle. Officers ordered him toward them. He complied. They took him to the ground, handcuffed him, and he didn't seriously resist. Body camera footage captured Laura screaming that he had taken her life from her. And Chad told deputies, "Tell them I did it. Take me to jail." On June 22nd, 2023, A Claremont County grand jury indicted Chad Doerman on 21 counts, 9 aggravated murder counts, 8 kidnapping counts, and 4 felonious assault counts. Because some of the murder counts included aggravated circumstances, Ohio prosecutors could pursue the death penalty. The following day, Chad pleaded not guilty. But the case soon ran into an important legal problem. Chad had made incriminating statements after his arrest. His attorneys challenged those statements, arguing police had violated his constitutional rights. And in March 2024, Judge Richard Ferentz agreed that portions of Chad's interrogation couldn't be used at trial because investigators had not properly handled his Miranda rights and continued questioning after he requested counsel. That ruling didn't erase the case. There were surviving witnesses, 911 recordings, physical evidence, video, and extensive circumstantial evidence surrounding Chad's actions before the killings. But it removed part of the prosecution's evidence. By March 2024, Chad had entered a plea of not guilty by reason of insanity. And this part became central. His attorneys argued he had been experiencing severe mental illness or psychosis. According to prosecutors, an evaluation did identify symptoms suggesting mental health problems. But the state's position was that those symptoms did not prevent Chad from understanding that his actions were wrong. Prosecutors also emphasized that before June 15th, Chad had never been diagnosed with or treated for the serious mental illnesses that typically underpin an insanity defense. That doesn't mean somebody without a previous diagnosis cannot experience a psychiatric crisis. They can. The legal question was narrower. At the time he killed his sons, did Chad understand the wrongfulness of what he was doing? The state's evaluator concluded that he did, and the case appeared headed toward an enormous fight over his mental state. Until suddenly, it wasn't. Chad entered court. No trial, no jury. Instead, he took a plea deal. He pleaded guilty to 3 counts of aggravated murder, 1 for each son, and 2 counts of felonious assault involving Laura and his stepdaughter. The aggravated circumstances making him eligible for execution were dismissed. Importantly, the surviving victims agreed to the deal. Prosecutors said the decision was made to prevent further trauma to the family. Judge Richard Ferentz sentenced Chad to 3 consecutive life sentences without parole, plus additional consecutive time for the assaults. The judge made the outcome unmistakable. Chad Doerman will never leave prison. Then came the part of the hearing that had almost nothing to do with Chad, and everything to do with what remained. His stepdaughter's statement was read in court. She described him as somebody she had once trusted, someone she considered her dad. She talked about Christmas, softball, school achievements, all the ordinary milestones that now feel wrong because Clayton, Hunter, and Chase aren't there. And she said something incredibly difficult. She would never forgive Chad, but she would not hate him. That's such a complicated sentence. Because this wasn't a stranger who entered their home. This was someone she loved before she watched him destroy it. Laura's statement described something quieter, the silence afterward. A home that used to contain 3 rowdy little boys, now empty. Car rides without seeing them behind her. Everyday routines becoming reminders. She said no punishment could equal the suffering she now lives with. Their family asked people not to remember them only for how they died. Clayton, Hunter, and Chase loved fishing, go-karting, swimming, baseball, running around outside. They were described as inseparable. Clayton was 7, Hunter was 4, Chase was 3. Those ages shouldn't become statistics attached to Chad's name. They were entire little people whose futures stopped in one afternoon. And here is where this case refuses to give us the neat ending true crime often promises. Was Chad depressed? Was he experiencing psychosis? Prosecutors reconstructed almost everything, except the motive. After sentencing, they acknowledged they still didn't know exactly why Chad Doerman killed his children. And that's where we're beginning our family tragedy series. Tonight is day 1. For the next 6 days, we're going inside 6 more families. Because recently, case after case has forced people online to confront an uncomfortable reality. We spend so much time imagining danger as something outside. A stranger, a stalker, someone waiting in the dark. But some of the most devastating cases begin somewhere much more ordinary. A kitchen, a dinner table, a person everybody trusts. For Clayton, Hunter, and Chase, the person they were running from was their dad. Thanks for joining me tonight, and don't forget to subscribe if you enjoy true crime and dark horror stories. Until next time, stay curious, stay safe, and I'll see you on the next episode of the podcast, You Can't Unhear.